What's going on, traders? Sandro O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is June 21st, 2021. Please click the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to talk about the price action in the indices. We're going to go under the hood and check out our sectors and style factors as we always do. We're going to check out my trades for the day, and we'll also go through some options order flow. Before we get into all that, quick risk disclaimer: nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan and your own risk parameters. And last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account into any one of my trades. All right, let's jump into it here. And let's take a look. Pretty crazy price action today, but let's see. So we had S&P 500 as measured by the SPY ETF close up 1.43%. We had the Dow Jones close up 0.5%. We had the IWM small caps finish up 2.14%. And we had the Dow Jones close up 1.75%. So yeah, Friday was definitely a washout day. In a recap video on Friday, we talked about, hey, in the Dow Jones, there were literally zero stocks that were advancers for the session. And we got this extended range red candle. Today, we completely reversed that. So we had, this bullish outside day, and we fully engulfed that bearish candle in the S&P 500. So pretty remarkable price action here. Coming into today's session, we were in pretty dire straits. Overnight, the market was down as much as 0.7% at one point. And looking at this, it was like, okay, we're below the 50-day, we're below the 20-day, we're below this 5-day EMA, of course, and we're below this monthly value area high, and we're also below that monthly point of control. In one fell swoop, we just reclaimed all of those levels. So now on the intermediate term time frame right here on this daily chart, we're right back to being in a bullish trend. It's so crazy how fast the market can turn in that way. So yeah, overall positive price action there for sure, no doubt. And then flipping over to our NASDAQ, the NASDAQ, was the weakest index today, but the NASDAQ has been the strongest really for the past couple weeks now. So overall, the NASDAQ is our leader here. And you can see this finished up 0.73% as measured by this NQ futures contract. And yeah, the NASDAQ continues to remain in a nice constructive pattern, and we're consolidating right around the prior all-time highs here. So yeah, looking good for the NASDAQ. Let's check out our Russell. Russell closed up 2.36%. You can see the Russell, very similar action to the SPY, where a really nice bullish candle. You can see the Russell found resistance at this 20-day simple moving average, though. And then the Dow Jones had gotten absolutely rocked on Friday. So this isn't bad either. So the Dow Jones, this thing had fallen into the abyss. Look at how many consecutive red candles we had here. This is remarkable. And now we closed within this monthly value area for today. We still have some work to do in the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones for me is definitely still the laggard, 100%. Be a nice bounce for the Dow Jones. So let's take a look here. And let's check out our market breadth. Market breadth had been really tailing off for the past week, where we started noticing, negative breadth almost every single day. And Friday was like the ultimate washout, where breadth was just horrendous. A lot of times you need that washout before you can get the positive bounce in the market, and that's what we're seeing today. You can see we had all Dow components were positive today, so we had 100% breadth, and you can see 95% of the S&P 500, and then we had the NASDAQ lagging with 76%, still very positive, and the IWM with 79% advancers here. Flipping over to our heat map, you can see, very similar, where pretty much everything, is green across the screen today. One thing that was very interesting, Amazon, which is a setup I'm watching very closely, was actually down on the session today. So let's take a look at Amazon real quick. Amazon down 0.94% here. And yeah, you can see we found support at that 5-day exponential moving average. What is that? My Benzinga over here makes that loud noise. Nutrien raises guidance. Yeah, not familiar with that company. Yeah, so Amazon, I would not mind at all if we flagged out a bit here as we approach, the prior swing highs and really, fight to make a breakout to new all-time highs. So let me just close up this Benzinga. This makes a lot of noise here. Okay, so we had Amazon, which was one of very few laggards today. You can see NVIDIA, which has been the strongest stock in the market, also pulled back slightly. And NVIDIA, you can see, for a pullback, this wasn't too bad. We put in a doji candle. We were down as much as 3 or 4% at one point on the session. And you can see this 20-day simple moving average is starting to catch up to price. Let's pull up our sector map here and take a deeper dive. So looking at our sector map, you can clearly see today was like quintessential bounce day. So we had aerospace and defense up 2.42%. We had the XLE energy stocks up 4.26%. Regional banks, huge 4% bounce. So yeah, everything that was very oversold ended up getting a bounce today. Laggards, we had the blockchain assets down 2.31%. We had this Hero esports ETF down 0.94%. We have these Chinese technology names down 1.17%. Style factors, all green across the screen here, but you can see the best performing style factor was our high beta style factor. And then following that, we had the cyclicals, which were up 2.48%. So let's take a look at some of my trades for the day. Today, I was not very active at all. But I did do a couple things. So let's pull this up here. So on Friday, I had gotten long some Dow Jones calls and some S&P 500 calls. And what I had pointed out was, hey, we're very oversold here, to the point where this is like a 3 or 4 standard deviation move in the Dow Jones. Historically, that has been a zone where nobody wants to buy, but you have actually the best risk to reward buying at that zone. See, I took off my Dow Jones calls right off the open. For $6.80, I had paid $6.30. And in hindsight, that may have been a bit premature. Off the open, things looked a little bit dicey, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take some of these off because these are calls for July. So I knew I had my Dow Jones and my S&P 500. I took off the Dow Jones. This one really just kept ripping throughout the day. Yeah, nice little winner here. I got long some Skills 22.5 August calls for $2.10. Skills had a news catalyst that they're going to be working with Playboy on basically like a gaming app. Let's see here. Playboy finished positive on the day. This one has been in a downtrend. And Skills, this is a name I traded maybe like 2 weeks ago and had some success with it. This one you can see here, putting in another doji candle did not have the power to make it through this pivot. So I'm going to be watching this one again tomorrow to see if we can get that push through. Let's take a look here. See, I did that. I closed out half of my SPY 418 strike July 16th calls for $6.77. At about 10:30, I'd paid $6.39 for those. And then at 2 p.m., I closed out the remainder of those SPY calls for $7.68. I had paid, again, $6.39 for those. So yeah, my bounce trades ended up working out today. Other than that, I did take an entry in AVGO. This was a name from our Pristine Capital weekend watch list here. I took these shares for $465. And AVGO is a name that I saw a lot of call buying in, for this name. This one you can see here, I'm going to be trading against this value area high. And on the upside, I have this VPOC to look out for up here. One name, this was actually my top name on my weekend watch list. It's typically what I do. I send this out to Pristine Capital members every week. And I'll highlight the setups that I think are the best here. I actually got caught up this morning when I was taking off my, Dow Jones calls and looking at the current exposure I have on. This one ended up ripping up 18.54% today. So this to me just goes to show these power earnings gaps are very real. This is a very powerful setup. And this is something I want to keep leaning into, as the next earnings season rolls around. But yeah, this one was really off to the races. Smith & Wesson brands. And we'll see if we can get a pullback in this thing. It doesn't really look like this thing, now it's not really at an ideal entry point. We'll see. I'll continue to watch this one. Let's pull up our options order flow here. Let's take a look. I'll go to our Tradescape here. So yeah, for the Tradescape, some of the names that had high levels of options activity, we can see this Shopify. This one continues to act well. And let's pull up Shopify here. Shopify, this one is trying to push out and make a new all-time high. Doesn't look like it was able to do that, but you can see here this is clear, institutional accumulation that's going on at these levels. So yeah, Shopify will have to continue to watch that one. It's very extended at this point. Let's pull up. So we saw Shopify, NASDAQ, a bunch of calls going up. Tesla, we did see a lot of call activity here. Let's check it out. Yeah, so July 30th, January 2023. Yeah, the call buyers were definitely out in full force for Tesla. Tesla here, this doesn't really interest me all that much. I know people, they get really interested in Tesla every time it has a bounce. But this name is just not really in the strongest trend this year. Now let's take a look. We'll pull up one more of these. See if there's anything interesting. So this is kind of interesting here. So I see Fastly, there's $3 million of activity. But it looks like most of it is puts anyway. Yeah, I see 55 strike puts, 45 strike puts. Okay. Let's take a look. Very interesting. And then I see here we also have CRM, $11 million worth of calls. These are for July 16th at 2:30 strikes. This one here, let's pull this up. CRM is looking good here. So we're consolidating right around this pivot area. And I would really like to see this one break this, 248 level. But we're getting some nice consolidation here. And you can see this one closed green on the day. On a day that a lot of the high-flying growth stocks were actually negative for the session. That about does it for this market recap video. Hope you all had an awesome trading session. And I will see you all in our Discord tomorrow.